In the grand tradition of British pomp and pageantry, trooping the colour has always been a spectacle of royal proportions. This event, deeply embedded in the British royal calendar, celebrates the monarch's official birthday with grandeur and military precision. However, this year's ceremony took a dramatic turn, as the festivity of military bands and the splendour of horse guards were met with an unexpected soundtrack. Amidst the precise marches and vibrant uniforms, the crowd's reaction was mixed, some cheering, others expressing their discontent. But this year, amidst the celebrations, a chorus of boos echoed, marking a stark contrast to the usual cheers. As the royals gathered, the air was thick with anticipation, and not just for the ceremonial splendour. The regal affair was marked by the presence of key members of the royal family, each bringing their own story to the tableau of tradition and pageantry. King Charles, the figurehead of the day, bore the weight of his crown alongside signs of personal battles, appearing notably thinner and more fatigued. His presence, while stately, was tinged with the vulnerabilities of a man not just leading a nation, but also navigating his personal health challenges. The Princess of Wales, re-emerging into the public eye, was a vision of resilience and grace. Her appearance, after a notable absence, sparked a flurry of whispers and admiration. She stood poised, her demeanour reflecting a serene strength that belied the mysteries surrounding her recent retreat from the public gaze. Beside her, Prince William encapsulated the stoic image of a future king. However, there was a certain reserve, a hint of introspection perhaps, that suggested his thoughts were as much on the future burdens of his role as on the proceedings of the day. Together with their children, who were seen in public for the first time in 6 months, they painted a portrait of a family united under the gaze of a nation and the weight of their lineage. Adding to the martial flair of the occasion, Princess Anne and Prince Edward, adorned in their honorary military dress uniforms, rode on horseback. Their attire not only spoke to their personal commitments to the armed forces, but also echoed the deep connections between the monarchy and the military, a relationship woven through generations. Amid these seasoned royals was Lady Louise, making a notable appearance on the balcony. Her presence, alongside her family, underscored the continuity of the royal lineage, even as her brother, James, Earl of Wessex, was conspicuously absent from the day's events, stirring quiet speculation among onlookers. While the family presented a united front, the undercurrents of personal challenges were palpable. Each figure, clad in ceremonial garb and smiles, carried not just the legacy of a centuries-old institution, but also the very human stories of struggle, resilience, and adaptation in the face of both public and private scrutiny. King Charles, the figurehead of tradition, faced not just the physical reign, but a storm of public opinion. On this grey day, as he rode through the streets, the weight of the crown seemed heavier than ever. His face, marked by the years and his recent health battles, told a story of resilience amid adversity. As whispers about his thin, drawn appearance circulated, it became clear that the king's health was more than a personal issue. It was a matter of national stability. Observers noted how the king, despite his pale countenance, maintained a composed demeanour. His resolve was palpable. His greeting to the crowd, though weary, carried the grace expected of a monarch. This public appearance was not just a ceremonial duty, but a reassurance to his people that he was still at the helm, steering the ship through turbulent waters. However, the public's reaction to his leadership has been mixed. While some admire his tenacity, others question the future of a monarchy under a ruler battling significant health issues. The murmurs of concern are not just about his ability to perform his royal duties, but also about the broader implications for the monarchy's continuity and relevance. This scrutiny goes beyond personal health. It taps into a deeper discourse about the role of the monarchy in modern society. The cost, the pomp, and the circumstance of royal affairs stand in stark contrast to the pressing issues of the day. This juxtaposition raises questions about the monarchy's place in a rapidly evolving world, where tradition often clashes with progress. In the face of adversity, the king's resolve remains tested, as does the loyalty of his subjects. His leadership, now more than ever, is a litmus test for the monarchy's endurance in the 21st century. As King Charles navigates these challenging waters, the eyes of the nation, and indeed the world, remain fixed on the crown. watching, waiting and wondering about the future of an age-old institution in the throes of contemporary trials. While the royals trooped the colour, not all onlookers waved their flags in support. Amidst the pomp and ceremony, a distinct group of dissenters made their voices heard. The Not My King protests orchestrated by the Republic Group have become a staple at major royal events, advocating for a seismic shift from a hereditary monarchy to an elected head of state. The Republic Group's protests are not just a reaction to King Charles III's reign, but are deeply rooted in a broader Republican movement that has been gaining momentum, particularly among younger Britons. This burgeoning movement questions the relevance and cost of the monarchy in modern times, sparking debates about its role and the transparency of its finances. The timing of these protests during high-profile events like the Trooping the Colour is strategic, aiming to draw international attention to their cause. It underscores a growing discomfort with a tradition that, to some, feels out of step with contemporary democratic values. This sentiment has been amplified by the transition from Queen Elizabeth II to King Charles III, a change that has reinvigorated discussions about the future of the monarchy in a Britain still grappling with its post-Brexit identity. On social media, the anti-monarchist sentiment has found a virile ground, with hashtags and viral posts spreading critical views and calling for a re-evaluation of the monarchy's place in society. However, while the online realm buzzes with Republican rhetoric, physical protests at royal events remain relatively contained, suggesting a division between digital dissent and real-world activism. This growing disquiet among the populace, particularly the youth, signals a profound shift in perception. It poses critical questions about tradition, modernity and governance, reflecting a society that is increasingly contemplating the values it wants to uphold. The echoes of dissent, amidst the drumbeats of tradition, signal a kingdom at a crossroads. As the monarchy faces these challenges, the future of this centuries-old institution hangs in a delicate balance, watched closely by both its staunch defenders and fervent critics. Amidst the pageantry, one royal's presence captured the public's imagination more than most. The Princess of Wales, after a period of absence that sparked endless speculation and concern, reappeared with an elegance that seemed to silence the whispers, if only momentarily. Her health, which had been the subject of much public discourse, appeared robust, casting a glow around her that was hard to ignore. As she stepped back into the limelight, the public couldn't help but analyse every aspect of her appearance and demeanour. Was her smile as bright as before? Did her eyes still carry the same spark of engagement with the people? These questions buzzed through the crowd and across social media platforms where royal watchers dissected her every move. But it wasn't just her health that was under scrutiny. Her role within the royal family, always a topic of rich discussion, seemed to have shifted subtly. There was a new grace to her engagements, a measured step that suggested both awareness and adaptation to the ever-evolving dynamics of royal life. Her interactions with other family members were cordial, yet there was an undercurrent of independence in her posture, a hint that perhaps the princess was carving out a new path for herself within the traditional structures. Her poised return has stirred more questions than answers, adding another layer of intrigue to the royal narrative. As the banners are folded and the horses led away, the reverberations of this year's Trooping the Colour linger in the air. This ceremony, rich with tradition and pageantry, has once again captured the public's eye, not just for its spectacle, but for the undercurrents of change and challenge it symbolises for the British monarchy. Today's events have unfolded under an overcast sky, both meteorologically and metaphorically. The public's reaction to King Charles, marked by a mixture of respect, indifference and outright dissent, paints a complex picture of the monarchy's place in contemporary Britain. The cheers that traditionally echo against the parade's pomp were this year intermingled with boos, a soundbite that might just resonate into the future of this age-old institution. As the monarchy faces scrutiny, the calls for reform grow louder. The presence of protests like those from the Republic Group signals a shift in public sentiment that cannot be ignored. These voices advocate for a monumental rethinking of the monarchy's role, suggesting a potential transition towards a more modern, perhaps even elected, head of state. This is a dialogue that is gaining volume in the wake of Brexit, as the nation redefines its identity. Moreover, the health and public appearances of King Charles have not gone unnoticed. His resilience in fulfilling his royal duties, despite personal health challenges, has been commendable. However, it also raises questions about the sustainability of traditional monarchical responsibilities in the face of human vulnerabilities. Looking forward, the monarchy must navigate these turbulent waters with both wisdom and adaptability. Engaging with the younger generations, addressing the financial and symbolic critiques of the institution, and potentially redefining the boundaries of royal public engagement are steps that might be considered to align the monarchy with the values and expectations of a rapidly evolving society. In a ceremony steeped in history, the winds of change are palpable, whispering of times to come. From royal salutes to public protests, this Trooping the Colour has been a ceremony of contrasts. As we draw this discussion to a close, we extend our deepest thanks to you for tuning in. If this conversation has sparked your interest or stirred your thoughts, we encourage you to subscribe and share this video. Engage with us in the comments below. Let's continue this dialogue about the evolving role and the future of the monarchy. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Remember to leave a comment. Thank you. I am your loyal host, Kelly.